So I did mean to check in at the start of pattern 4 on my Lake Placid sweater, but I got carried away when I got there. So it's better late than never. Let's talk about the next steps. We last left off in here where it's saying to work until the whole body with the main pattern measures this length. I ended up going a little bit shorter because, as I talked about the last time, the schematic shows the full length of the body in every size, and I felt like the length in my size was about 1.5 inches longer than I wanted. So I knit to 1.5 inches shorter than this number in order to get the length that I want. Anyway, it says to end after 2 rounds of main color, which I did. The main color is the white, so I did 2 rounds of white before moving into pattern 4. It says work pattern 4, pattern 2, then pattern 1, and when 20 rounds of pattern work remain, begin the front neck opening. So this is pattern 4 as it's presented in the pattern, but there's actually mistakes in this chart. I corrected the chart here if you want to take a screenshot and use this chart. Esme W also translated the Norwegian version of the pattern, and it's pinned in the pattern help channel on our Discord. The Norwegian pattern does have very different sizing, and the colorwork chart is a little bit different. But the way that it's written out might be more helpful if you're struggling to understand how the English pattern works. But so if you join the Discord, that's all in there and you can check it out. Anyway, if you're following along in the English pattern, we used these starting points before when we were doing the colorwork charts at the bottom of the body, and your starting point is gonna be the same now in pattern 4. They don't carry up that starting point in the stitches at all, but like just use the same point that you were using down below. And instead of being just a 10 stitch repeat, it's now going to be a 30 stitch repeat. So you're going to work from your starting point to the end of the chart and then back to the beginning and do your repeats that way. So I put a stitch marker every 30 stitches to mark off this repeat section. And then I'm going to work through pattern 4 and hold my white dominant. And then it goes back down to pattern 2. After pattern 4, it works pattern 2 and pattern 1, so I'm going to go back and add more stitch markers to make it a 10 stitch repeat again. And for pattern 2, I'm going to hold the raspberry dominant. I'm going to come back and check in when I get to the 20 rounds of pattern left. That's going to be in the middle of pattern 2. So yeah, check back.